My name's Dudits, I do builds and stuff, and today I've got a Stasis Warlock build, and I guarantee this is probably one of the best builds you've ever seen, and I'm going to be featuring one of the best exotics, Ager's Scepter. This build absolutely shreds all different types of enemies, great for champions, and it's probably one of the best builds out there at the moment. For strength, it is super strong. So Ager's Scepter is an exotic Stasis trace rifle. What it does, a final blows with this weapon generate a slowing burst around the defeated target, and it's an absolutely huge burst as well. And it's also got Ager's refrain, Stasis final blows transfer ammo to this weapon, magazine from reserves, so it really just reloads itself all the time. And like I said, that slowing burst from the Ager's call is absolutely nuts. But it does have a catalyst on there, and the catalyst is absolutely huge. So the catalyst, what it does when you've gained your super on whatever character you run, in this case it's a Warlock, whenever you've got your super, what you do is you hold your reload button and it's going to turn that Ager's Scepter into an absolutely insane ice blasting machine. And this thing absolutely destroys all different types of enemies. And I'll tell you what, it's absolutely exceptional for all different types of champions. It absolutely wrecks overload champions and anti-barrier champions. With anti-barrier, you don't need to run anything else, or overload, or unstoppable. This gun covers all three, and it actually does some serious DPS against targets as well. Once you've got that catalyst going, it's absolutely, like I said, like an ice blast laser. It is nuts. So once you've got this catalyst going, it just deals with champs. You don't really have to worry about them. If you do anti-barriers, they don't have time to put their anti-barriers up, because the stasis from the Ager Scepter catalyst just stops that happening. It stops them. It actually restrains them from putting their shields up. And again, the slowing effects from the stasis subclass and the stasis catalyst from Ager Scepter, it does stop like anti-barriers putting it up, and overloads as well. It does stop them, even though it's overload trace rifle this season. It still works without overload trace rifle too, so it's really good for champions. Now the exotic to pair with this, there's only really a couple I could think of, but Mantle of Battle Harmony is absolutely fantastic for this one, because what this one does, when I think about Mantle of Battle Harmony, I often break it into two pieces, because it's got two exotic traits. The first part of the chest piece is when you don't have your super, takedowns with a weapon that match your damage type is the same as your subclass. So for example, Ager's Scepter, we're on the Stasis subclass. Every kill you get while you don't have your super is going to give you little boosts to gaining your super. And then once you've got your super, what happens then? It converts the damage from the gun into a 25% damage increase. So once you've got your super, you're going to do 25% extra damage for 10 seconds with the matching gun to your subclass. So the most important thing is to get your super as quick as possible. So Mantle of Battle Harmony and Font of Wisdom work perfectly together. These two on their own feel really nice. Add Whisper of Bonds, so every time we defeat a frozen target, obviously we're going to be defeating a lot of frozen targets with Ager's. It's going to give you big chunks of super energy as well. So, and Ice Flare Bolts, every time you freeze something, kill it, it's going to spread Ice Flare Bolts along the ground. So this little combination of Ice Flare Bolts, Font of Wisdom and Whisper of Bonds just pair perfectly together. Just check the super energy out, look at that. Absolutely crazy, big chunks like that just for killing a couple of enemies that are frozen. That's everything going on together, working absolutely crazy. And then, like I said, this is just like sort of showing, building the super with everything you've got going on, the wisdom, the bonds, the font, and everything like that. You'll see here just the little big chunks that you're getting back. It's really nice. I've just popped it here just to show it off, really. I've got more clips of like GM and lost sectors and stuff like that, but this is literally just to show it off. What you'll also notice about as well in that background there is all these stasis shards. We're going to be taking full advantage of them a bit later on in the video as well. So I'm going to show you how to get some nice weapon surges going for other weapons as well. But just look at this super energy. So that's obviously pairing nicely with your Mantle of Battle Harmony. You want to be getting your super, and once you've got that super up, you'll see then I've got that 25% stasis weapon surge going on that bottom left. That's the Mantle of Battle Harmony's second perk. That is when you've got your super. So building your super up like so, and once you've got your super, this transforms this gun into something else. It goes through enemies like a knife through butter. These are shielded enemies, don't forget, but just look how easy it dismantles these enemies in a lost sector. It literally feels like a knife going through butter. I've said that a few times, but that's what it feels like. It's absolutely crazy. And like I said, you've got your catalyst there to hold on to as well for tanky targets, and you don't have to worry about running your catalyst because you get so much super energy back like you've seen, so it all fits perfectly together. Glacial Harvest is the other aspect that I like to run, because every time we freeze something it's going to create stasis shards. Add Whisper of Conduction on there, so all them stasis shards are going to travel towards you. Add Elemental Charge to your boots, and there you go. You've literally got infinite armor charges going on from Elemental Charge and all the stasis shards. Look at this, watch my armor charge. I've already got one there. It'll go to 0, back to 1, then watch, it's going to go straight up to 3 just by collecting all them stasis shards. Then we can use that to run things on our boots like Arc Weapon Surge for our secondaries, or even like Void Weapon Surges, things like that. So not only have you got all the damage going on from Agers, you've got an absolutely infinite amount of armor charges as well for whatever weapons you're running. Now there is another fragment that works really nicely with primary weapons for your secondary weapons. Whisper of Rending. Every time you freeze something, your primary ammo weapons do increase damage. So as you can imagine, with Agers you're going to be freezing stuff, and then if you wanted to, you've got damage on your secondary weapon as well. If it's a primary, I'm running Nations of Beasts in this one, but you can see there, freeze something, that Whisper of Rending is going to be always procced consistently, whether it's from your Agers or your Cold Snap Grenade, so you're going to get an extra 40% damage with Whisper of Rending as well. So an extra 40% with your primary ammo weapons, plus all the surges that you've got going on your legs for your secondary primary ammo weapon is really nice. The weapon I personally run with this one, I crafted this one, I got a Nation of Beasts with Harmony. So Harmony and Discord, this works perfectly together. I'm not going to go too much into that, but I'll leave a link to that video, what I made on the Nation of Beasts. But yeah, just keeping hold of this Whisper of Rending. You got all your damage going on from your Agers, which we've already seen, where it's absolutely crazy. Plus we're going to have damage for your Arc or Void weapons, whichever one you want to choose. But Whisper of Rending is a really good one to use with Agers and secondary weapons. Overload, this covers you on Overload as well, not just the weapon but the actual Stasis subclass. You'll see how easy this Overload just gets dealt with, and it's pretty much an instant stun, and it just wrecks him really. So you're covered on Overload champions for end game stuff. It's really good for Unstoppable as well, the actual Stasis subclass, because all your shatter effects that you do from your Cold Snap Grenade or your melee, just like so, you can make any weapon unstoppable as long as you freeze the target, shoot it, and it's going to break. So it's really good. You'll see there, I actually stunned him, unstopped him with my Agers, which you shouldn't be able to do, but you just shatter in the crystal to do that unstop. So it's a really nice build all round together. Everything working on, plenty of damage with our Ager's Scepter. With the catalyst, without the catalyst, where you've got your super to get that stasis weapon boost going, and we're going to have a ton of damage for other weapons as well via Elemental Charge and the stasis shards. So I do hope this video was helpful. Bit of a long-winded one, bit of explanation, so I will leave everything playing out as always at the end, so you can pause and slow it down, and I will also leave a dim link in the video description. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, have a great weekend.